Hi, okay, so I am Staci Hart. I am a writer and I have been using this program. This is a Scrivener tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and stammer through this. I'm not in a quiet environment, in a controlled quiet environment, so just keep in mind that it might be a little bit, that you might hear some noises like dogs or children. I wanted to go ahead and put this together because I have convinced many of my other writer friends, most under duress, to try this program out. And it can be very, very intimidating and overwhelming. I'm a button pusher in many ways in my life, but particularly when it comes to technology or things like that. So if you're a button pusher, just get in there and start messing around because you'll figure it out. There is an interactive tutorial. So you'll see here I have Scrivener open. I'm going to make a blank document with you guys and show you kind of how I set it up and just a few little things here and there. So, okay, so there is a tutorial. It is very long. It will probably show you things that you may or may not use. When you're starting out with Scrivener, that can be very, very overwhelming. It is, like I said, it takes several hours to complete the tutorial. And it is very, very useful. So I wouldn't discourage you against that unless you're easily overwhelmed, in which case just stay out of that for now. Maybe get your footing a little bit and then you can kind of come back in here and figure that out. So I did want to also mention that I am on a Mac and it's different on PC. This is a program that's made for Macs. So if you have a Mac, you're going to have a lot more features available, and you just may not have the same stuff. So I apologize if that's the case. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you are a fiction writer. Because that's what I am too. So what we're going to do is you open it up and go to fiction. You're going to choose a novel. So just hit choose. We're going to do a new document. We're going to save this as best story ever, part 1. Okay, so best story ever. We've got our idea. I will say also that I am a plotter. So some of my methods may not be something that you're interested in, and that's okay. I'm going to try to gloss over that. Now, one of the great things about Scrivener is that it's like having all of your resources, all of your drafts, all of your everything, everything that you need to write your novel in one document. I will say that you should go to your settings when you download Scrivener for the first time, and make sure that I have a couple things. The biggest thing I want you to do is go to your backup and make sure that you see that mine is backing up into my Dropbox. I have it with 5. I have it compress them into zips. I have them back up when I close. I don't use mobile devices, but it will basically, it's just constantly saving it. This program saves every 2 minutes. So it's very, very rare for you to lose information. But I would back up in this way, but back it up to a Dropbox or a cloud somewhere, not just on your machine, just in case you crash. Okay, so you'll see here, this is the basic layout. You've got your manuscript here, you've got characters, places. Each of these, if you create a new document, you're going to create a new document, a new little file. It's almost like having many Word documents inside of folders. So if you click a new character sheet, boom, you've got a whole character sheet here. You can add pictures right here. You can label them. You can do all different things. You can actually create a template for this yourself. I'm sorry, my dog is like snoring and sorry. You can create templates for these things. If you don't like what's in here, you want to change them. I don't remember where that is, but there's a place. My windows are also open. I'm a professional, guys. So the places, this is another one. You can create place sheets. So you've got, all of these different options. You can kind of fill them in. The front matter is, that's something that's for formatting, which is in this compile button. That's a totally different thing. We're not going to talk about that today. And then you have research options here too. So you have, yeah, I've never really used that though. See, these are the template sheets down here. That's where it is. So see, you can edit these, and then when you create new ones, it will just use whatever's in here. So Okay, we'll go ahead and close these. That's all I'm going to talk about, any of that stuff. So you can kind of fiddle around with that and see what you want to do. Now, in terms of setting up your manuscript. So what you're going to do, I always have mine set. There are 3 buttons here. These are really important. These are how you view your manuscript. This is just infinite pages. This would be like if you wanted to highlight your whole manuscript and look at it all in Word. These are note cards. So every chapter that you add and every scene inside will have a little note card, and you can move them around. You can, here's your synopsis, so you could type, okay, chapter 1 is going to be introductions. That's my, let's see, Jane. I don't know, what does Jane do? She's grocery shopping. She reaches for the juiciest melon. Her hand grazes Jack's. Story begins. Okay, so that's my chapter. Well, what did I do? Wait. I swear I know how to do this. So then inside, okay, so yeah, so these are going to be my chapters. So when I create a new chapter, chapters are folders, right? Chapter 2. So yeah, so you have each chapter, you can do it this way. And then when I look at my whole manuscript, look, it'll show me each chapter and my notes for each one. This is so helpful when you're plotting out, right? So you can get these kind of really broad scale, plot points going. Now, the scenes inside. So scene 1, let's say scene 1. So let's just call this, what I do is I type in here like just 3 or 4 words about giving an overview of what this is. Jane intro. Librarian loves melons. Looking for love. Okay, so Jane, and then we're going to do, let's say Jack's intro. Jack's intro. Jack is a lumberjack. Lumberjack, really into trees and melons. Okay. You can also make notes down here. There are other things you can do, like create labels if you want further organization. My first novel that I wrote, I got about 20,000 words into it and realized that Word was not going to work for me. The infinite scroll was too difficult for me to keep track of everything, and I just knew there had to be a better way. So I downloaded Scrivener and have used it for a very long time. I had timelines in that. I had keywords like with different things. I also like to, because I am a visual person, I like to make icons. So I will use little flags. So I'll say, okay, well, Jane is pink and Jack is blue, right? So it helps me visually too as I'm scrolling back through. So what you do is you can create your little scenes, right? And you'll keep doing that. You'll just add them all in here. Right? Okay, scene. Okay, so what happens is if you click on your manuscript, right? Okay, so here we have our note cards here. You can look at it this way. And these are, look, here we'll put... We're just going to keep doing this. So, and then, Jack. There we go. Because why wouldn't she wear glasses? She's a librarian. So if we look at the manuscript, you'll see here, right? And it will just be an infinite scroll. It will tell you down here how many words you have, which I love. I use that all the time. I will be like, okay, well, how many words is, this section? And it will tell me down here. So it's nice. You can kind of highlight stuff. So super helpful. Another thing that I want to show you, which is this. It's the outline mode. So outline mode is really cool. If you like to have outlines and you want to have you know, a little bit of aggregated data, you can see here, here's the title, here's the synopsis. The other ones don't have anything, which is why they're not, oh no, this is just chapter 1. So if I do this, and then I can expand. So if you click on manuscript, that's the whole thing, or you can select little pieces. Same here, right? Now, if you right click this section, you can choose what it shows. So if you wanted to, like for instance, I don't target, so I don't want target, I don't want progress. I do want my total word count. I do want, let's see, let's say I'm using keywords, I want those to show. So it will show you all of that information. If you do like targets, it's really great because you can set a goal. Like, I want this chapter to be 3,000 words. Well, how close am I to that? And you can set it for chapters. You can set it for the individuals. So this is a great way to kind of get a good overview, and you'll just be able to scroll through and see everything here. Okay, let me show you a couple of other things about Scrivener just in general. If we go back to the regular mode, so this over here is what's called your inspector. The inspector is great. You can turn it off, turn it on, open and close these things. You can see you can close it here if you want more space. It's nice for a lot of reasons. It has some great features in here. But you can change what is showing here, right? So you've got, this is just your regular overview of everything with your synopsis, your notes, that sort of thing. These are references. So you can add references in here to things. Like if you want to keep track of, like, oh, well, let's say I'm, this librarian's got a gun, you know, because of course she does. She also is an arms dealer. And so she is, you know, we want to have like diagrams of the guns that she's really into and various, you know, types of bullets. I don't know anything about guns, so this is probably a terrible analogy. Keywords. So this is another one. If you're using those, you can add keywords here. You can, I don't quite know how those are. I've used them, but it has been years. So you have metadata too. This is a similar thing to the keywords. These are just all ways for you to cross-reference your work so that it makes it easier to find things. Snapshot. So this is one of my favorite things. What you can do is you can highlight everything. Before you edit anything, you should take a snapshot of it. Okay? So let's say I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to change this, but I don't want to lose anything. So I hit Command 5. Here, it takes a picture. And I will then have all of the drafts for that scene right here. Right here. It's great because I can go back if I'm like, sometimes it'll be something like I'll find that there's a missing section. You know, like sometimes you'll accidentally highlight something and delete it and it's gone. Well, if I have snapshots, then I can go back and look through my old snapshots and see if there's something that I missed. Another thing to note is that when I'm going to show you comments in a second, but when you have comments in here, you can do a snapshot of your scenes, and it will actually you know, it will keep your comments as well, which is very, very useful. You can compare them. You can compare two screenshots. You can roll back to one. It's very, very, very useful and super important in terms of you know, having drafts. So you don't have to have like 87 Word documents. It's like final draft 87 FU. Okay, so another thing is I wanted to show you the comments. So what I like to do is I'll comment. The shortcut is Command Shift 8, or you can hit the little plus sign here. So Command Shift 8. Boom, I have a comment here. Mention Jane's guns. Okay, so we're going to mention Jane's guns. Now, what I also like to do is you can change the color of them. So you have options here. I really like this because, again, I'm a very visual person. So sometimes I'll have things that are like, sometimes it's things that I've highlighted that I want to use as quotes. Those will be a certain color. Sometimes it's stuff that are, things that I need to research, or maybe it's things that I want to copy edit, and I just will make sure there are different colors so that I can easily scroll through. Because again, if I click my whole manuscript, it's going to show me, if I click manuscript, it will show me all of my comments down the side here, and I can just scroll through them. When I get my beta feedback back, I make those a different color as well. So I will have all my beta comments. I move them in manually, which some people are like, ugh, but I really like that. This is my master document. So I like it a lot for that, to be able to have everything in one place. So I don't mind so much moving it in, and it also helps me kind of say, okay, well, this I want to keep, this one I'm not going to, I'm okay with this, or this is whatever. So it gives me a little bit of it helps me sort through them, I should say. So what else? Another thing I love is compose mode. So there's this button here, it's called compose. So when I'm having a hard time concentrating, I'm gonna hit this, boom. And you still have controls down here. So let's say I'm doing this, but I'm editing, right? And I want to make sure that I have my notes. I can show in my inspector here. I can open my inspector and have it listed here, but it blacks out everything else. So I can have my synopsis, or if I have notes that I want to make sure or if I want my comments. This is a very, very, very useful thing. To get out of it, you just hit escape, which I don't know if I can do because my escape is currently oh God. Oh gosh, I don't know how to do it. Hopefully I can get out of it. I don't know if I can do it without actually exiting out of this. No, crap. Mistakes, regrets. Mistakes were made. Go to, and you can change scene too. I didn't even know that. That is super useful. Well, maybe that's it for now then. So that's pretty much everything I did want to show you though. If you go into the other section, which is there's the compile. That's where you can turn it into a Word document, an EPUB. You can format using Scrivener. It's really useful, although I do use Vellum, and I definitely recommend it. But I will convert it to a Word document to import into Vellum. So it's fantastic. I love this program. I hope that you decide to give it a shot. Try not to be intimidated, and just get in there and kind of fool around with it. I would recommend doing it with a brand new document though, because otherwise it can get really tricky trying to move from one program to another. And give yourself a little bit of time to get used to the idea, and get used to the program, and don't beat yourself up. But even if you just wanted to use it exactly like Word, totally have that option, and it's fantastic. All right, so that's what I got. I hope that you guys got something out of that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.